Welcome to Bless Them Boys, a podcast that appreciates everything you've done for us over the past few years, but is looking to go in a different direction. We're one Saints fan and one Cowboys fan, one fan of Who Dat and one fan of Dat Win. We're to give weekly takes, game recaps, bad betting picks, game previews, and the occasional Seinfeld reference.
This week, our patron saint / cowboy of the week is Obert Clark Butch Logan. He attended Gonzales High School, where he competed in football, basketball, baseball, and track. Originally, he was recruited to Trinity University as a defensive back. However, was persuaded to play both ways. He was a 4-year starter, playing defensive back, flanker, and halfback. In his first 2 seasons, he led the team in rushing, and his last 2, he led them in receiving. As a senior, he set the school and Southland Conference record with 11 receiving touchdowns, set a school mark with an 81-yard touchdown run, or 81-yard run, I should say, against Southwest Texas State College. He also had a school record 79-yard reception against McMurray University, and he also had a school record for 23 kickoff returns for 465 yards, finishing his college career with 33 kickoff returns for 690 kickoff return yards. Both of those also school records. He received honorable mention Little All-American honors as a senior. Was a 3-time member of the All-Texas team, a 3-time All-Southland Conference selection. Also practiced basketball, baseball, and track. In 1999, Logan was inducted into the Trinity University Hall of Fame. 1965, he is signed as an undrafted free agent by the Dallas Cowboys. The team tried him out as a flanker at first before moving him to safety. He would end up surprising observers, by making the Cowboys opening day roster for the 65 season. As a rookie, Logan was a reserve playing behind Mel Renfro until the 5th game when he was named starter at free safety. Early in the season, in his first season, he forced a kickoff fumble, resulting in a touchdown. One of his 3 interceptions came against the Eagles, where he picked off a Norm Snead goal line pass with 2 minutes left to secure a 21-19 win. Against the 49ers, Larry Stevens blocked a field goal that Logan returned to the Cowboys' 47-yard line, helping set up a last-minute touchdown to end a 5-game losing streak. In the final game of the season against the Giants, he returned a blocked field goal by Cornell Green, 60 yards for a key touchdown, helping the team win that game, complete the first non-losing season in franchise history, and advance to the playoff bowl.
Sure.
This is what they used to call it back then. In 65, he was a key member of the special teams unit, which blocked 9 field goals, 3 times as many as any other team in the NFL, and Logan blocked 2 of those. They also blocked 5 extra points and 1 punt. In 1966, between Renfro being switched to the offense and experiencing some injuries, Logan was able to start 6 games, finish with 2 interceptions, played in the 1967 NFL Championship game, or more commonly known as the Ice Bowl. Logan was small for an NFL player, 5'10", 182 pounds. Listed at 182 pounds, however, it appeared to weigh closer to 160. Also possessed good but not overwhelming speed. What set him apart was his tremendous courage. Full-out style of play gave evidence of his knowledge and love of the game. He was selected by the Saints' 1967 NFL expansion draft, becoming the franchise's first starting free safety. He would be released August 25th, 1968. 3 days later, he gets claimed by the Cowboys. September 4th, he is released. He later signed to the taxi squad, where he spent the rest of the season. August 30th, 1969, he's released after being tried out as a flanker. He would spend his last 2 years of professional football in the Texas Football League. Logan, whose nickname was the Little O, was the last player in the NFL to wear the single 0 jersey until 2023.
Fun fact. That's some good bar trivia. That's some good bar trivia.
That's some good bar trivia. After his professional days were over, he spent 1 season as an assistant player coach for the San Antonio Toros of the Continental Football League. He then held the same position for 1 year for the Fort Worth Braves of the Texas Football League, which was serving as a farm club for the Kansas City Chiefs. He did pass away in 2003 I believe, to colon cancer.
R.I.P.
So rest in peace to Mr. Logan. Quite a reservoir of history there for this gentleman. I'm Paul, the Saints fan.
I'm Brandon, the Cowboys fan. I'm Brandon.
You sure about that?
I'm Ron Burgundy.
Damn it! Who typed a question mark? Where Izzy? Save us, please.
Oh, come on, Izzy.
Yeah, that's it. It's go time. Let's see you lift that.
Mr. Mandelbaum, please.
It's go time.
This one's for you, Pop. It's go time.
It's go time.
You've been married 3 times.
That's it! It's go time!
It's go time.
All right. That was pretty good. I'm Brandon, the Cowboys fan. I'm Brandon, the Cowboys fan.
Off to a great start here.
We're roaring, ripping and roaring. The title of this episode, or at least I don't know if this will be the title when we post the episode, but for the YouTube folks, is the draft season starts now because both of our teams are watching. Maybe watching the games like we will.
Before we get to that, it's coach hiring season for one of us.
That's true. It is defensive coordinator hiring season specifically for.
Hope springs eternal now.
We'll talk about that. We'll talk about
absolutely.
that in a little bit. But before we get there, a few housekeeping items. Email blessthenboys@gmail.com. We do have a correspondence from our good friend Donnie. We'll get to that in a minute. Check us out on Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it, at bless_them_boys. I'm at Paul Elliott _316. Brandon is at Ball from Grace. Still on Blue Sky, but still don't check it. We're there.
Lurking.
We're lurking. We're watching. We check in every once in a while.
Every few months.
Every few months. If you are checking us out on YouTube live right now, thank you. Go ahead, hit that like button while you're here. Hit that subscribe button. If you can't check us out live, we can also find us on Spotify and Apple. Like, share, subscribe, leave a rating and review. Appreciate all the feedback. Tell your friends, tell your enemies, tell the bots. We'll get to, so we'll wrap up the week 18. Get you ready for the playoffs.
Regular season.
The regular season. Get you ready for the playoffs. Do all that fun stuff. We'll also talk a little bit of college. We do have to pick 2 college games tonight as well.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
But before we do that, we here at Bless Them Boys do pride ourselves on being able to discuss other things.
But enough about fish. I can discuss other things, you know.
All right, Brandon. What'd you get up to from the last time we chatted?
Don't have much on the watch front. So we let our oldest stay up for midnight last year, which was a mistake because now she expects to stay up every year. So
yeah,
we are now trapped. We're now trapped in that, never ending. Having to stay up until midnight. So, my wife fell asleep on the couch. So last year.
She pulled a Newman.
She did. So last year we were a little more active. We played card games. I taught her how to play 5-card draw poker.
Okay.
So there was that. This year we were
good use of time.
Yeah, exactly. This is how you gamble. Let me teach you about wagering. And then so this year everyone was tired, and so we just sat and watched a couple episodes of Wednesday season 1 because she kind of had been wanting to watch that. So we watched the first couple episodes of that, and then I think the second one ended like about 10 minutes before midnight, and so we flipped over to the New Year's Rockin' Eve with Ryan Seacrest. And
Yep.
they threw it over. This year I don't know if you watched, but they did something new where they threw it over to Chicago for the Central Time Zone, and they had a
Oh.
countdown there and did the countdown from
So,
Chicago, and then let off the fireworks at midnight on the river.
So it wasn't because in my years when I would stay up, what they would do is they'd basically just replay.
Right. They just
yeah.
So this year
Once
they
it
did
hit
it a little different.
Yeah, once it hit 11 o'clock Central Time, you just get a replay of basically the last hour, and then
I actually kind of like the idea. I think they probably could have done a little bit better on the execution of the countdown that they did, because they had Chance the Rapper there, and I thought he was fine, but he didn't have a lot of support on stage getting to the moment. So I think that was kind of a letdown. I think they should have had, a couple more people with him. So we did that, and then for New Year's Day, do you do the classic, the traditional New Year's Day stuff? So Black Eyed Peas, we did cabbage, we did cornbread.
we don't. We used to do it. My mom and my dad. I remember growing up, we used to do not cornbread, but we would do Black Eyed Peas and cabbage for sure.
Yeah. Yep. So
yeah, no, we usually just. I don't even remember what we did. Honestly, I think we just got pizza or 45.
There you go. So we did that, and then what we do now, the new family tradition is that we've done for the past probably 5 or 6 years now, is we go to Hebert's, and they have a crawfish stuffed duck there.
Oh,
and so
nice.
so I don't think this is Bobby Hebert's, but Hebert's is, for those in the know, is a Cajun grocery store. They have
I believe that it originated in my hometown.
It is from. I know it's from Louisiana.
Yeah.
They actually used to have one up in East Texas where I grew up, and that I think eventually shut down. But there's one. The one that we always go to is now 10 minutes from my office, and so I can pick it up on the way home. So we get a crawfish stuffed duck, and so we do that, and then obviously we do the Black Eyed Peas, we do the cabbage. I don't always do cornbread, but I did this year. I made an effort to make it this year. So we did that. I picked up, caught a couple, 2 or 3 episodes of The Twilight Zone on the Sci-Fi New Year's Eve marathon, which I always like to do. We watched a little bit of Dragon Ball, so we're getting close to the end of that. We've got 2 seasons left, because we just finished, I think, season 5 out of 7. So we've got about 50 episodes left of that show, after we've watched about 150. So we're about 3/4 of the way through. And then this weekend, we went to Austin, because every year we get together with friends from college to do Friendsmas. So we do Secret Santa for the adults. We also do Secret Santa for the kids. We used to, when there were when only 2 of us had kids, and there were 2 or 3 kids, everyone would get something for all the kids. And now there's way more kids there, and so it's we'll just do Secret Santa, so this doesn't get to be a $500 gift burden for everybody. So we do Secret Santa for the adults and kids, and then we do White Elephant for the adults and the kids. And then this year we also did some yard games. One of them was you have a candy cane in your mouth, and you have to move the candy canes from one cup to another. There's another, and so we did activities like that. I ended up winning first place, so not to brag. So I did take home first prize in the adult activities. And then I should tell you about the white elephant for the adults. So the first gift that got opened was this giant Econo-sized roll of toilet paper. So
all right.
So someone ends up with that. I end up with some markers, some like markers that are like you can draw tattoos on yourself and stuff. And I'm like, okay, this is like cool. I'll just keep this for the kids. And then my wife gets this like heatable pillow that you can like warm up and like hug. And it's like a little bowl of ramen with a face. And she's like really excited
Oh.
about it. So she gets that. And then somebody beside me gets it's got a bottle of vodka, one other thing, and then the third thing is it's a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles watch. I was like, oh man, I would actually really want that. Well, my wife gets her gift stolen, so she can, either open a new gift or steal. And I was like, hey, give me the Ninja Turtles watch. And she's like, no, I'm not doing that. so she opens another gift. She gets something else that she like kind of likes, and I don't remember what this is. And then like 2 turns later, that gets stolen. And I was like, okay, this is a sign. Give me the watch. And she's like, no. And so she gets something else. And then at the end, so we do it so that the person at the first person who goes at the very end can either take their gift or they can swap with somebody. And so the first person who went was the one with the toilet paper. Well, he decided, he's like, I'll take what she has. So he takes her gift, and we end up with a giant toilet paper roll. And so she ends up with toilet paper, and I do not end up with the Ninja Turtles watch. And I told her, I said that was your punishment for not doing something nice for me in the Christmas spirit. So that's how that went.
That's a shame.
Yeah, that's a shame. Other than that, that was pretty much it. What about you, Paul? What'd you get up to?
So for the New Year's Eve portion, we did not stay up. I was awoken at midnight from neighbors popping off
Fireworks.
My kids, my daughters wanted to stay. They're at that age where they want to stay up and see the fireworks. But on New Year's Eve, before that, my wife and I went to the movie theater to see the finale of Stranger Things.
Okay. I got to ask about this.
Okay.
So there, I've heard that there is a conspiracy theory.
Okay. I thought you were going to say something else. Okay.
Now, have you heard the conspiracy theory?
Possibly.
So the conspiracy theory is that this was actually not the finale, and there's going to be another actual finale tomorrow.
Oh, see, I hadn't heard that. I've heard that tomorrow they're going to announce like the spinoff series of I thought you were going to say, because there is a prominent needle drop in the finale. Do you watch Stranger Things at all?
No.
Okay. There is a prominent needle drop in the finale that you would definitely appreciate.
There's 2 Prince songs in there. There's 2 Prince songs. Yeah, I did. I did hear about this. So
my wife actually, she just got it in today or yesterday. She ordered Purple Rain, the album, because of those 2 drops.
Oh yeah. So are we gonna get your wife into Prince now? Is that where we're going?
Well, she at least likes Purple Rain. I can vouch for that. So yeah. But no, it was a good time. A couple things about watching it in the theater made me realize how reliant I am on closed
subtitles.
Because like there were a couple times where like, wait, what are they saying? What do they know?
You didn't turn around to the guy in the projector and say, "Hey, can you put the subtitles on?"
Right. Well, and that was the other thing was like I told my wife, I feel kind of stupid saying this, but like I was like, does somebody at the movie theater just have a Netflix account and they're just gonna project?
Yeah, that's it.
They forget their password and they can't like log in.
Yeah, you're sitting there stuck while they've got that code up to like log into the screen. It's like enter this code on your phone.
The other thing too is so for the previous 2 volumes when they released, because they released like the first volume of season 5 around Thanksgiving, and then they released the second volume on Christmas Day. And both times Netflix like crashed because so many people were. So watching it in the movie theater, you don't have that problem because they're.
How many episodes is it like per season? Like how much of this is how much of a commitment is this?
Total, I think it's 50 altogether for
That's
5
not too
seasons. They're not consistently the same number. I feel like the first season was 8 or 10. There's one season that was, I want to say there's one season that's like 12. This season was good. I'm sorry. It's 42 episodes total.
Okay, now that's even better. That's what I like to hear.
So they had eight episodes season 1, 9 episodes season 2, 8 season 3, 9 season 4, and then season 5 was 8.
Okay.
That just wrapped. So
do you think my what is the appropriate age range for this, do you think?
Well, so
bear in mind that my oldest just watched Wednesday and was fine with it. So I don't know if you've seen Wednesday.
I think she'll be okay with.
Okay.
Now, I will say the first couple seasons. Well, I mean, the whole season there are gross moments. I'll say there's blood and there's that kind of stuff. But I think, how old is your oldest?
10.
Yeah, I think she'll be all right.
Okay.
She'll be okay.
That seems like
rapidly trying to think of I don't want to scar your child.
Yeah, she's pretty good with. She's not the easily squeamish or easily spooked, and so I think this would maybe something to try.
And the other thing too is it might be interesting for her to watch because I want to say in season 1 the kids are that age. The other thing I found cool, I don't know if I want to say, but basically the entire series takes place in the 80s. There is I guess slight spoilers, but in the finale you learn that the graduating class for that year is 1989. So they really end the series in 1989.
They don't do a Taylor Swift needle drop there.
No, actually, no, they don't.
They should have made this the Taylor Swift origin story, and she comes out of the other.
My wife would have really loved that.
Oh, she would have been falling over herself for that. Yeah. Did my wife just finished the End of an Era show? Has your wife watched?
Yeah,
that?
my wife, she watched it. So it was, I think, 6 episodes. They released 2 at a time over 3 weeks, and she watched it. In fact, the last 2 episodes I think came out last week, right before and so literally she stopped watching it and I started recording with you. So
oh, okay.
She was locked in. Yeah, she was.
My wife
finished
it this week. I want to say Sunday night because I think I had I think I had Steelers Ravens on my phone while she was watching that on the TV.
My wife got a kick out of, I think it's the last episode that they show her at her final show watching Chiefs. I forget who they're playing, but she's backstage watching Chiefs the Chiefs game. Getting ready for her last show of the tour. And her dad's there watching with her and all that stuff. So, it's, I watched a little bit of it with her. I mean, it was good.
How much football do you think Taylor Swift knows? Do you think she knows what a zone blitz is, or a cover 3 versus cover 4?
I've heard, and I don't know if this is just people being silly, but I've heard people say oh yeah, she's suggested plays or something like that. I mean, honestly, I don't think she's. I don't think she's. Dan Orlovsky, like watching all 22.
All 22. So she's not like Dana Orlovsky, so you're saying she knows her stuff.
Okay, well, the fair enough. She's no. I don't think she's gonna go work for PFF anytime.
She's not Mina Kimes. How about we put
Mina Kimes?
She know Mina
Mina
Kimes.
Okay.
There we go.
Although Mina Kimes, I believe, is a Swiftie, if I remember correctly. So
we all have our faults. Sorry.
So I was also trying to catch up a little bit, going back to 2025, a couple of movies catch up. One I watched is Sorry Baby. This is currently available to stream on HBO Max or Max, whatever it's called now. It's quite a gut punch of a film, honestly. This is from a first-time director, Eva Victor, I believe is her name. She wrote, directed, and starred in this movie. She plays a woman named Agnes who, when the movie begins, you find out that she has something bad has happened to her. You just don't know what. And as the movie progresses, you find out what happened, and it's kind of one of those stories.
Okay, so let's for the listeners, let's spoiler alert this. What happened?
She was
assaulted.
She was assaulted by. So at the beginning of the film, you find out that she's working at the university that she got her graduate degree from. And you found out that while she was obtaining this graduate degree, her thesis advisor sexually assaulted her. And nothing was done about it. Basically because the timing of when she submitted the complaint. If that makes sense. So
okay.
So it is a I think the Wikipedia description of it is like dark comedy. It definitely has some comedic moments, but it gets because at first, like as you're going along, you're like, man, like what happened? Like did somebody die? Did she like what? And then when it's revealed what happened to her, it's like, oh, didn't see that coming. Like didn't see,
So you would say in the dark comedy split, it's more 90-10, not 50-50.
Yeah, maybe 75-25, honestly. Because there are some more lighthearted moments. Because when the movie begins, she is greeting an old friend from graduate school who's coming to stay the weekend with her. They haven't seen each other in a while. And you learn as the film progresses that like they were in graduate school together. There was kind of a group of them that all hung out and all this stuff, and then it just kind of goes from there. I would recommend it. I think it was very, very good. I'm interested to see what she does. The Eva Victor does next. And then I watched a movie called Begonia. This is Yorgos Lanthimos movie. Emma Stone, Jesse Plemons. This movie is just bat crap crazy, but like in a good way. I don't think that director does anything other than that. I think that he has one. But this is like this. Yeah, this is like so. In getting ready to watch this movie, I decided to go back and watch his other films first. So I started with The Lobster. I watched The Favorite, Poor Things, Kinds of Kindness. And yeah, all of his movies go.
Was The Favorite a Best Picture?
I don't know if it was nominated, but it's widely regarded as one of his better ones.
Okay.
No pun intended, but like for a lot of people, it's their favorite of his. My big takeaway from this experience is that he and Emma Stone needs to make movies with him for the rest of.
I thought you were going to say they need a break. They need to take a break.
But I mean, like Emma Stone is good in a lot of things, but like for whatever reason, the chemistry that she has with him, and then also Willem Dafoe's in a lot of these films. He's not in Begonia, but he is in like Kinds of Kindness. He is in Poor Things, and like he brings the right energy. Jesse Plemons, who people obviously we've talked about him before, but he's got his big break on Breaking Bad. I think actually probably Friday Night Lights was the first big thing for him, and then Breaking Bad became, his breakout role. But
His
Jesse Plemons in this movie,
out role.
you have his breaking out role, yeah. But this movie is, I don't even really know where to start on how to describe it, Begonia. But I would just recommend that folks check it out. It's very of the time. I'll say that it came out last year, so like it's very. But basically, the plot summary is Jesse Plemons and his cousin, and I don't recall the actor who plays his cousin, are these like conspiracy guys that believe in all kind of different conspiracies. One of which is that Emma Stone's character, who's like a CEO of some pharmaceutical company, they believe that she is an alien, and they abduct her, and basically hold her against her will, and to prove, and they are trying to get her to prove or reveal herself to be an alien. And I won't say any more because it goes off the, well, I was off the rails. It gets a little crazy from there. There is also a slight cameo from Alicia Silverstone, which came out of nowhere. It's like the movie's going along, and it's like, oh, that's Alicia Silverstone just in this movie. Okay. That's another thing with Yorgos movies is like he has every once in a while he'll have an actress like, wait a minute, that's so and so.
Just random cameos.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if I feel like he did that in the other movies too, but and then I wanted to talk about this Cinechums challenge. So I found this website last year. It's called cinechums.com. And I would, if you're interested, you can check them out. But basically every week they post a challenge, which is basically like a category. It's like, this week watch a movie that, and they give you a certain criteria, right? Like watch a movie that, so like for this year, for week 1 of this year, the category was firsts. So you can watch a movie that has the word first in it. You can watch like the first movie of a trilogy. You could, it's kind of they keep it pretty broad. So
could it be a movie that it's your first time to see it?
Sure. Yeah, I guess. They're not very strict. It's not like they give you the category and then they give you a list of like, you can only watch these movies. Like they give you the freedom to kind of do whatever you feel like. But anyway, so separate from that, right around New Year's, I was on Twitter and I saw a tweet, and I apologize, I don't remember who originally tweeted it. I did retweet that person from my account at some point. But anyway, this person pointed out that Denzel Washington, who I'm sure everyone knows who Denzel Washington is, has appeared in 52 theatrically released films at this point, which means you could watch one Denzel Washington movie a week for an entire year. So what I decided to do is with the Cinechums challenge is basically do the challenges, but try to use every single Denzel movie to fit these challenges, if that makes sense. So for example, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, do they give you the full list of challenges beforehand?
No.
Because at the end you're gonna be limited.
Yeah.
You're gonna
So-
kind of eliminate
So
yourself.
this is the tricky part. So what they do is they release the challenge for the week on Mondays. So basically the week starts on Monday, pretty much. So it is very possible that this endeavor can end like next week. Like next week on Monday, they could say, okay, this week's challenge is watch an animated movie. Well, Denzel's not been in it. So now my plan is, if that happens, if we get to a point where we get to a category that a Denzel Washington movie does not fit the criteria, then I'll probably go back to a previous category and just watch a second movie, because you can do as many movies as you want for these. Like you don't have to just do one. But I guess basically by the end of the year, I will have hopefully watched all 52 Denzel movies. And it's actually worked out because I think when I started this challenge, of the 52, I had watched 26. So I kind of half and half, new and old. But anyway, so for the first week, the challenge was first. So what I did was I watched Denzel's first theatrically released film, or the first theatrical film that he starred in, which is a movie called Carbon Copy, where stars George Siegel, who plays a wealthy businessman who one day Denzel shows up at George Siegel's place of work and says, "Guess what? I'm your son." And George Siegel is a white man. Denzel Washington, obviously African American, and so hijinks ensue from there. Little bit. I don't know if this movie would have been made in 2025. But
sounds like it might have had an uphill battle.
Yeah, but it was kind of it was weird. It's like probably one of the only like somewhat slapstick comedies that Denzel ever did. Honestly, it was on Tubi for that's how I watched it. Was on Tubi. I don't know if it's still on Tubi, but folks want to check it out. And then for this week, the category was highly rated. Now, again, these can be kind of broad. So the way they defined highly rated had to be a rating of 7 or better on IMDb or a rating of 3.5 or better on Letterboxd, because Letterboxd only uses a 5-star.
They didn't do. I'm surprised they didn't include Rotten Tomatoes on there too.
They didn't. They did kind of. Again, they left it kind of open because the third, I guess, caveat was something that has been recommended to you, like a friend has. So what I did is I went to my list of Denzel movies, just sorted them by average on Letterboxd, sorted them by average rating, and I watched the one with the highest rating that I had not yet seen, if that makes sense. And for me, that was a movie called Mississippi Masala, which is an early 90s movie. So this is right before he does Malcolm X. I want to say this is like 1 or 2 movies right before he does Malcolm X. So he's right about to get on the fast train to stardom here. And he plays a carpet cleaner in Mississippi. And he lives with his father, who is played by the late great Ossie Davis. He has a good friend played by Charles S. Dutton. He has a brother that he helped. His mother, I believe, has passed away. They have an aunt that helps him out. But he meets this young lady who comes from an Indian family, and the Indian family at the beginning of the film, you see they're living in Uganda in the 70s when Idi Amin takes over and forcibly expels Asians from Uganda. So and makes them all.
He says Uganda.
Uganda, yeah. So this family are forced to leave Uganda, even though the father, the patriarch of the family, was born there. He's lived there his whole life, all that. So they eventually make their way to Greenwood, Mississippi, of all places. And then the daughter, as one does, and then the daughter, who was I think like 5 when they left. They fast forward. She's now in her 20s. She eventually meets Denzel, so it becomes kind of a romantic type of movie, and it goes from there. And it's really a really good movie. I would highly recommend. It's on. I watched it on the Criterion Channel. If you don't have Criterion Channel, I would seek it out if you can find it. Now. My thought as I'm doing this is like, okay, I got to pick a movie that fits the category, obviously, but it also is kind of like maybe won't fit other categories. Like I kind of have to, because as you said, like you don't know week to week what it's going to be. So like I thought today, I was like, well, if next week's categories.
This is like the Eliminator Challenge where you have to like pick a team to win every week, and
kind of. But like I was thinking, like if next week, and maybe I shouldn't say this out loud because then all this will happen. If like next week the challenge is you have to watch something that's a 2-word title that starts with the same letter. That I was like, well, I've already watched Carbon Copy and I've already watched Mississippi Masala, and I don't think he has any other movies. So like, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. So this again, the Cinetrums, they've been doing this since like 2021. So there is a backlog of like somewhat historical basis. Now, obviously, they don't do the same. Like week 1 of every year is not the same challenge. Week 2 is not. They do recycle some things. Like usually towards the end of the year, they have a challenge. It's like, pick whatever your favorite challenge was.
Ooh,
Christmas.
Does Denzel have a Christmas movie?
He does.
Okay.
The Preacher's Wife, I believe, is
Okay.
I believe that's a Christmas movie. I'd have to go back and double check. But so he has that. He also did I believe a Shakespeare adaptation, Much Ado About Nothing. He was in an adaptation of Much Ado About Nothing. Is that Shakespeare?
Yeah, but he was also
okay.
I guess this has to be
Tragedy in Macbeth.
Yeah,
he did Macbeth. Yeah, that's true.
That you could have used for the recommended one, because I recommended that one to you. So.
You did. You did. But I had already watched it, so
Wow.
they're wrong.
That's a shame.
He's got a couple Oscar-winning films. The highest rated movie he has on Letterboxd is Malcolm X, which I almost watched. But
what about
the other
Inside Man? How that's got to be
Inside
highly rated.
Inside Man did meet the criteria, but again, I'm kind of saving that one.
Yeah,
because again, it's like how many categories can Mississippi Masala potentially fit? Like, you know what I mean? Like,
watch a movie that's named after a spice blend.
Right. Watch a movie with a location in the title, which he had Philadelphia too. So I mean, that's also. So yeah, I'll keep. I'm interested to see how far I get. I did. The reason this came up again is I saw the tweet about the 52 movies. Denzel, I think, has 4 movies in production right now, or somewhat. They're making another Equalizer movie. He is supposed to be in Black Panther 3, apparently.
Okay.
He has a movie that might come out this year. I forget what it's called. Something about a flood. It's like, but it's like it sounds like a crime thriller where there's a heist type film. So I'm curious to see that. And I forget what the 4th one is that he's got on the horizon. But yeah, keep you updated. We'll see like I said, every Monday they release whatever the new challenges for the week. So we'll see. And obviously Denzel is, I would say, one, if not our finest actor going right now. Definitely has the body of work,
Personally, I've always been partial to Christian Bale, but that's just me.
Did they? No, they didn't do a movie together. I don't think.
Not that I can think of.
He did. Christian Bale. My favorite Christian Bale filmography tidbit is he's in the movie Shaft with Samuel L. Jackson, the remake.
Okay.
He's the bad guy. He's the bad guy in Shaft,
really?
Which I totally forgot. And then somebody put the clip up on Twitter, and I'm like, what movie is this from? And it's like, what is Christian Bale up to here? And then it's like, oh wait, this is Shaft. And I totally forgot. This is in 04, 05. So this is right before he kind of takes off. Like, he hasn't done Batman yet, I think, or he's in the middle of recording or filming Batman. The Batman Begins. And so
he was also in a movie called Newsies. Did you ever see?
Oh yeah. Oh, I know. I definitely know Newsies. Yeah.
Yeah. So one of my friends in college, I told her that she needed to watch Monty Python and the Holy Grail because it's a great movie. And so she watched that, and she was like, okay, since I did that, and I had told her that I love Christian Bale because he was awesome. He was in Batman. He's in a bunch of other stuff that I liked. And so she's like, well, he was in this movie called Newsies. And so she gave me her copy of Newsies to watch. And so I watched this movie and I watched the whole thing.
Okay.
So
Start to finish.
start to finish. And then after that, I went and found her, and I said, "You owe me 2 hours of my life back." And so, so,
This movie stinks.
yeah, it was no death. It was no death blow, that's for sure.
Yeah, it was not.
Or
this one.
sack. It was no sack lunch either.
Okay, so I apologize. So he was in Shaft, but it was not 0405. Shaft was the movie that Christian Bale did right after American Psycho. That came out the same year. Came out the same year as American Psycho.
Great movie too.
So so he does American Psycho and Shaft. He also played Christian Bale was also in 1999. He was in a TV movie, Mary, Mother of Jesus, where he played Jesus of Nazareth.
Interesting.
He also was in the Midsummer Night's Dream adaptation in 1999.
Who was he?
Directed by Michael Huffman. Give me a sec here. He was. I lost my spot here. Where'd he go? Come on. He was Demetrius.
Okay.
Okay. He also has done some voice work. He's been in a couple of Studio Ghibli. Well, I don't know if they're Studio Ghibli. He's done. I shouldn't say they are. He did Boy and the Heron. I don't know if you saw the Boy and the Heron from a couple years ago.
I remember, but I didn't see it.
But he also did Howl's Moving Castle, I believe. He has a voice. Yeah. He's Howl in Howl's Moving Castle, the English version. And he did that right the same time he did. Have you seen The Machinist?
That's the one where he got really. That's the one where he got really skinny.
I've never seen it, but I've seen the pictures.
I've seen like bits and pieces of it. It was on TV
because he does that. He does that movie in 2004, and then Batman Begins is 2005. So he had to go from that to Batman, like right after each other. So.
He is my favorite Batman. I know a lot of people love Michael Keaton, but I think he is like the best Batman that we've had.
What are your thoughts on Ben Affleck as Batman?
I thought he was pretty good. I actually ended up really liking Rob Pattinson too in the new Batman movies. Like surprisingly, he's actually turned out to be pretty good, pretty solid actor.
I got news for you, buddy. I got season tickets to Robert Pattinson now. Like anything he's in.
He turned out to be really good. So
I recently watched. So I talked about Marty Supreme, I think last week because I had been to see it, or maybe I did talk about Marty Supreme. Maybe that was
You said you really wanted to go see that.
Yeah. So I checked it out, but before I watched that, I watched the Safdie brothers' first film, which is called Good Time, which stars Robert Pattinson. And he's like this. He's basically like another version of Marty from Marty Supreme. Like he's this kind of hustler trying to get. And I was like, yeah, I'm on board between that Tenet.
I need to go back and watch Tenet. Tenet is like one of those movies where it's like, just 3 hours of.
I don't know. Yeah, freaking. I don't know. I mean, I don't know why Pattinson isn't discussed as being the next Bond. I feel like he could be, but I think because he's Batman already, it's like, we don't want to.
You only get one.
Yeah.
I will say, I think he's kind of he kind of comes from that sort of like, I guess Leo DiCaprio-ish sort of career arcs where you start out as sort of like a young guy, like everyone kind of sees you as like heartthrob guy, and like because he did the Twilight thing, and then eventually like you do enough movies where you got your acting chops, like people actually like take you seriously.
Leo wasn't in anything as well, I guess Titanic, but like I guess Titanic is to Leo what Twilight was to
I think that's how I see it.
Yeah.
sort of the young.
Not comparing. I'm not comparing the two films in
Very
quality.
yes,
by
very
any means,
very
yeah.
very different.
But yeah, Pattinson. Yeah, so it was another movie. Another eye-opening performance for me was The Lighthouse, which I think I talked about before too. And Mickey 17 from last year. That was pretty good. I still need to see Die My Love with him and Jennifer Lawrence. It's getting a lot of Oscar buzz.
I love Jennifer Lawrence. Although I think she's had some work done on her face, and like it, I don't know. I don't like it.
All right. Well, let's get on to
before we go too much more off the rails.
Yes, we don't want the Jennifer Lawrence.
No, we don't know. We don't need that.
Okay, let's get into our speaking of something you might not like. Let's get into our bowl challenge picks here. Our good friend Andy has locked this up. We're all playing for second place at this point. Andy is 27-16. I am in second place, 20-23. You are a game behind me, 19-24. MJ Mann, 17-26. And Dirty Don bringing up the rear, 14-28. We do have 2 games to pick.
Donnie's bowl picks are going about as well as his college team is for the his bowl appearance.
Donnie is
that's another thing I guess I should talk about. I did watch the Texas Michigan game on New Year's Eve as well.
Oh yeah.
So
so Arch is back now, right? We're all the way.
I think Arch is healthy now, I think is the big thing. Because he played really well. I thought he had a couple of passes dropped on him. He had one pass where he threw it to a Michigan defender where he got lucky that the defender dropped it. And so I thought he played really well. And then there was one instance where, that long touchdown run he had to basically put the game away.
Yeah.
Did you see that? Well, he was being chased by the Michigan freshman who is from Kilgore. Like he was trailing behind him as he ran into the end zone. And so my dad was like, was that Sanders on the back of that jersey? And so I went back and rewound it, and sure enough, it was him. So but good into the season.
What are your thoughts on the news today that Parker Livingstone is transferring to Oklahoma?
Yeah, what a loser. Parker losing Stone.
Yep, that went about as well as I thought. Okay.
Have fun losing your bowl. Have fun losing your playoff game, loser.
Poop hit.
Exactly.
You had real the energy of the guy in Anchorman when Ron Burgundy says, "Go F yourself, San Diego," and the guy comes is like, "How could you say that about my city, Ron Burgundy? Poop head." You had that kind of energy just now. All right, we got to pick.
I was thinking more along the lines of, "Well, you're the one going to hell."
Oh yeah, buddy. Yeah. Oh, by the way, shout out to Patrick Warburton. He's going to be the king of the Bacchus Parade at Mardi Gras down there in New Orleans, which is a good deal for him. So,
hey, Happy New Year! Hey,
yeah, hey.
Wait, is it New Year? No, it's not New Year. It's
Mardi Gras.
Mardi Gras. Hey,
Mardi Gras. Yeah.
Happy Mardi Gras.
All right, so we've got 2 semifinal games to pick, and then we will pick the championship game next week once we know who's playing. So these games feel kind of backwards. So the Fiesta Bowl, 2 upsets here. Miami coming off their upset win over Ohio State. Ole Miss coming off their upset win over Georgia, who was my pick to win the national championship. I should have known if I picked Georgia to win.
Oh yeah, that was the
kiss of death. Okay, so this is the Fiesta Bowl. Feels like this one should be at the Peach Bowl, and the one that's at the Peach Bowl should be at the Fiesta Bowl, but that's neither here nor there. Miami, Ole Miss. So Miami is laying 1.5 in this game. I think I'm going to go with the Hurricanes here. I'm going to lay the 1.5.
I'm going to take Ole Miss.
I take the points.
I told you this via text, but I will say it here on the show. I'm cheering for Ole Miss to win the title now, just because it would be the funniest thing ever. If
it'd be hilarious.
If Lane Kiffin jumps ship to go to LSU,
yeah,
where Ole Miss goes on to win the national championship, and the even funnier thing would be if Kalen DeBoer then decides, I think I've had enough here at Alabama. I'm leaving. The Alabama job is then open, which is the one that Lane Kiffin really wants. And he ends up just like, well, now I'm stuck here at LSU.
I don't want to get too political here, but one of my favorite memes over the weekend was seeing Lane Kiffin is leaving LSU to become president of Venezuela.
Oh, there we go.
That's pretty good. All right, Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl. So the Fiesta Bowl is on Thursday. So you've got Thursday night Fiesta Bowl. Friday night we've got the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl, and then Saturday, Sunday and Monday we've got NFL playoff action. So good time here to be a football fan. All right, the Peach Bowl, a rematch here. Oregon, Indiana. Indiana won in Eugene earlier this season. For this game, Oregon getting 3.5 points. I can't go against Cignetti at this point.
Pick against him at your own peril.
This man put belt to ass on Alabama and looked like he could care less.
Oh, he was mad. He was like, how Saban would be like mad. There's a story about they won the national championship one year, and at the post-game speech to the team, he said, "Hey, you guys who are seniors, congratulations, you champions. Enjoy this moment. For the rest of you, that's not how we finish a game." That's the attitude Cignetti has. Is like he's not.
Well, he's a Saban a disciple. So
makes sense. You can tell because he is not ever going to be happy, and like even if they end up winning the title, you got to figure he's still going to have, he's still going to be pretty mad about it.
I had a thought this week. I was thinking, wouldn't it be kind of hilarious if like Indiana goes on this run, they win the national championship, and then after they win the national championship, if Cignetti just drops the whole gimmick, like he just like it was all just a show, and then like he just turns into like this.
He's like fun-loving guy.
This like fun-loving guy. I don't think that's what'll happen, but
good luck with that one. I wouldn't be putting any money on it.
Okay, so we're going Miami minus. I'm going Miami minus 1.5. You're taking 1.5 with Ole Miss, and we are both laying 3.5 with the Hoosiers.
Okay. Yeah. So sorry, Indiana fans, but.
By the way, should point this out. The national championship game, I believe, this year is in Miami. Is at the Dolphin Stadium. So
it's at Hard Rock. It's at Hard Rock Stadium.
It's at Hard Rock. So if the Hurricanes can beat Ole Miss, then they're basically playing a home game for the national championship. So but we'll see. We'll see what happens. Let's get on to the college game or the professional, not the college, professional stuff here. So we wrapped up the season, week 18. I had a real good week 18 in my preseason picks. I was 13-3, finished out the season 157-115. I had 6 teams correctly predicted for the season, and they are as follows: the Panthers, the NFC South champion Panthers, the Titans, the Bears, the Lions, the Steelers, and the Eagles. You don't have your...
I do not have that updated for this week.
Okay, that's fine.
I need to at some point
go
back and update the I need to update the Chat GPT picks for the season too. So see how the computer did.
All right, ESPN, our pick'em. I was 7-9 for the week, 113-159 for the season. Brandon 11-5 for the week, finishing out strong. 131-141. Our good friend Donnie. Oh, this is interesting. We had a tie. Donnie and Andy tied 136-135, both of them. So shout out to them. Maybe that's Maybe that's a good omen for Bears and Broncos going into the playoffs here. Confidence. I was 9-7, 85 points for the week, 156, 115, 1,368 points for the season. Brandon was 10-6, 92 points for the week. For week 18, 173 and 98, 1,536. And Brandon won the group. Coming in second was Andy. I was third. And then our two mystery contenders. I think Donnie's one of them, right? We do this every week. Like we can't figure out who these.
We can't. We don't know. So I will say. So it does help that Andy missed a week, but I think even with that, he would have had to score 127 points in his missed week. So I think I still technically probably would have had an advantage.
We'll go with that. We'll
So congrats. Kudos to me, Andy. You put up a good fight.
Yeah. And then kudos to both of us on the pigskin win totals. We tied 17 and 15. For some reason, ESPN dubbed you the winner. I don't know what kind of backstage.
I think that's alphabetical listing is what that's called.
Dang it! I knew I should have named my bracket.
Yeah,
right. But yeah, so the teams I may get these wrong, but I think the teams that settled in week 18 were the Bills over 11.5, the Eagles under 11.5, Packers under 9.5, Bears over 8.5. No, that would have settled already, actually. That Bears one's been settled. Vikings under 8.5. Wait, no, that can't be right because the Vikings won, right? They would have gone over 8.5, right? The Vikings finished 9-8, didn't they?
Maybe.
Hang on, let me check here. I think I just screwed up my my
just highlighted the wrong stuff.
Yeah, I put the wrong emphasis on the wrong syllable. The Falcons, they went over 7.5, and the Browns went over 4.5. So, either way, like I said, 17 and 15. I feel pretty good. 17 and 15. Andy finished 14 and 18. So, win-loss game. I got you by 12 points, buddy. 167 to 155 is the final tally. That again was we went through before the season. We each picked 16 teams and picked either their wins or their losses, and we tallied them up. And the final score was 167 for me, 155 for Brandon. So, to all the teams I had, thank you for winning or losing appropriately. All right, let's do our final regular season recap here. We're going to start with one of our new segments here where we got to support the team.
Oh, sorry.
That's you, buddy.
I know. Where are you, Putty?
Our friend Putty.
Well, support the team. Hey, man, I'm just trying to support the team.
Well, you got to support your team, huh?
Okay, ready to go?
Yeah.
Let's get it on!
Brandon, I'm going to let you pontificate on your Cowboys here while I go grab some water.
Well, this was definitely a Cowboys decision to punt on this game. They played Dak for the first half, but a lot of that was they spent most of the time running the ball with Jaden Blue, and in the second half got Phil Moffitt involved. Blue looked good. I thought he was decisive with his runs. Ended up, I think at one point he was averaging 8 yards a carry, finished with 64 yards on 16 carries, so 4 yards a carry, but I think looked effective, and I think kind of showed you what you can sort of hope for next year. They didn't want to get Dak hurt, so they didn't put him in a lot of passing situations where he was going to be exposed. Defense, they moved Matt Eberflus the last few weeks up to the booth. It didn't help. The defense is still bad. They played a lot of defensive starters. I will say Bland, it has been out the past couple of weeks. He's going to have another procedure on his foot. Overshown missed again. He's had the lingering concussion. I think they probably just held him out for precautionary reasons. Trayvon Diggs now gone. So they were a little depleted, but the defense just like continues to be bad. Donovan Ezeraku got kicked out for a brouhaha that broke out, which just the Giants being chippy in a game where they basically cost themselves a shot at the number 1 pick and ended up sliding down to 5th. So that's really great management there. So I want to thank them for doing that. Second half, Joe Milton came on and played, made some good throws, actually put touch on a pass instead of just throwing everything at 100 miles an hour, which I thought was good. But also, there was a play where a linebacker was sort of rotating into a window and he threw it right to him, missing a guy who was kind of open, I think, against what looked like a cover 2. I think it was Flournoy on the outside, and just like missed what would have been a pretty easy pass and threw it right to a linebacker instead. They did take out CD and George Pickens after the first half as well, so the offense basically went down to kind of spare parts in the second half. So you could kind of tell they were not really making too much of an effort to actually win the game. But I thought the offense actually looked pretty good in the first half, and then the defense was just terrible again. And I will say, like, I know there's been a lot of excitement about Jackson Dart. I think this was one of my first chances to actually sit down and watch him.
Wanted to ask you about this.
I don't think I see it.
Okay.
A lot of his passes, like a lot of the deep ball stuff, he had one pass that was called back for offensive pass interference where the guy did push off and made like an awesome, like one-handed, like kind of like reach out catch. But he had another play on that same drive where they got bailed out. It was like third and 20, and there was pressure coming in his face, and he just chunked it up. And because the ball is underthrown and the defensive back just kind of like, so the receiver just kind of like runs into him, and it's pass interference. Like, I hate that play, and like I wish they would like find a way to legislate it out. But he does a lot of stuff with his legs. He had one play where he like avoided a sack and then kind of just did like a toss to the tight end who was sitting there underneath him, because the tight end was able to, because of the way the Cowboys defense was running on the play, no one could really like find a good angle he just like basically worked back against the momentum of the defense and ended up going for like a huge touchdown play. So I mean, maybe he'll get better under like better coaching. Cause I know Brian Daboll's finally gone there, which is that's a real shame because because he was doing such a great job.
But you as a Cowboys fan would think that.
Yeah. So I'm I wasn't overwhelmed with what I saw in this sort of snippet, especially against the Cowboys defense that's like very, very bad.
Well, that's what I was going to say, like, because you guys have made Caleb Williams and
Russell Wilson,
Josh
Johnson. Just lay out the list of quarterbacks that played against us outside of like Jalen Hurts, and like we made everybody look pretty good. So.
Didn't I hear Russell Wilson say he like tore his hamstring a couple days before the Cowboy game and still went out and threw for? Maybe not tore, maybe he like sprained it or strained it or something.
I'm sure he believes that.
Right. So the Cowboys obviously parted ways with Eberflus, which I know broke your heart. But
I actually meant to bring this up, but we should go through this. Do you know Aaron Schatz?
Who?
Aaron Schatz. He does the DVOA numbers.
Okay. Yeah.
Formerly of Football Outsiders. So he posted the Cowboys finished with the number 4 worst defense in the history of DVOA.
Wow. So
the Cowboys still finished 7-9-1 this season with that defense. So that should tell you something about the quarterback play. And I think we can also like commiserate here, because one of the other teams on this list was the 2015 New Orleans Saints, who also finished 7-9.
I was gonna say 2012 Saints probably is not too great either.
So I think if you're showing that Dak carried a team to 7-9 with a defense that's one of the worst all time, like I think the offense isn't really a concern here. You just bring back Pickens. You've got Ryan Flournoy, who's actually shown himself to be a capable wide receiver 3 now, and so you've got the pieces that you need on the offense. You'll have a couple of guys coming back from injury along the offensive line is another thing. So Guyton should be back. Hopefully they can figure out something at the right tackle. I think toward the end of the season, who's the right tackle that I can't think of right now? Not Leo Collins.
Booker.
No, the right tackle
Steele.
Terrence Steele, who ended up playing a little better toward the end of the season, I thought. But you just got to go in, find a new defensive coordinator who's able to get the most out of his players. And so we talked about this last week. There's going to be a lot of good names out there. Like Flores is the guy that I want, but there's also potential for Schwartz from Cleveland. Ulbrich was a guy that got mentioned on the Athletic Football Show. Jonathan Gannon has now been let go. It looks like Aaron Glenn might actually get to keep his job. So that might not be an option. But
I've got a.
Is this a not so fast, my friend?
Yeah, not so fast. We'll get to that. We'll get to that later. But the Saints, that 2015 team, that was the year, if I'm not mistaken. I'm sure somebody will correct me if I'm wrong, but that we had Rob Ryan as our defensive coordinator.
Let me tell you, I know about Rob Ryan. That guy stinks.
He got fired midway through the season. This is when they transitioned to Dennis Allen, and then Dennis Allen took over 2016, I believe, full time, and the defense improved a little bit. And then 2017 is when they went on that run, that 4-year run of we'll win the division, but we'll lose in heartbreaking fashion in the playoffs. So like the Minneapolis Miracle, the Rams game, the lose to the Vikings when you're the 1 seed, lose to Brady's Bucks, like that run. But I was surprised the 2012 Saints was not on that list of DVOA. I was thinking about that. So we'll talk more about the coaching carousel here in a little bit. But one of the names that has come up is Steve Spagnuolo for head coaching jobs. And I remember that 2012 Saints defense was coordinated by Spagnuolo. This was the year that Peyton got suspended for the season. They hired Spagnuolo because they had to let Greg Williams leave because of the bounty, or they had to let go of Greg Williams because of Bountygate. And so they hire Spagnuolo. And I'm guessing when they did that, they weren't expecting Sean Payton to be suspended for an entire season, but then he ends up being suspended for an entire season. And I mean, it's like the one blip on Spagnuolo's coaching record, aside from when he was a head coach, I guess. But so for my team, not the way we wanted to end the season. Morton Anderson presented. By the way, Everson Walls brought.
You tell that to Baker Mayfield.
Yeah, Baker. Sorry, buddy. We'll talk more about that whole situation here in a little bit. But Morton Anderson presented Falcons 19, Saints 17. So, I keep going back to this, but I really think this season could not have played out much better for the Saints. You have a quarterback now going into 2026. Shuck played another great game. He had one throw that you'd want back, which was the interception. They're driving. They're down 16-10. They're driving to take the lead or at least kick a field goal. And he just throws a bad interception that, the safety, I forget which safety it was for the Falcons, just reads it perfectly, almost takes it back. They end up tackling him. They hold the Falcons to a field goal. And then Shuck comes back and has just just a ridiculous throw, drops it in the bucket to, I believe it's Ronnie Bell. That's the other thing. Is like he had his receivers were like Ronnie Bell, Dante Pettis.
Dante Pettis, that's a name.
Who was the other one? I can't even remember, but because Chris Olave last week after we had recorded, he goes in, thinks he's got like a bruised rib. Turns out he has a blood clot in his, I think it was in his lung, and luckily he's fine. Everything's going to be okay, but he obviously wasn't going to play. But yeah, I mean, listen, I think Shuck has shown he's the real deal. The Saints end up with the number 8 pick in the draft when everything gets washed out. And
you know how much I love to rain on your parade.
Oh, I do.
So
let me get my umbrella.
Yeah, are you worried that next season when the league has film on him that the so-called sophomore slump comes?
And listen, and the schedule next year is AFC North, NFC North, so that's tough.
Mm-hmm.
And then now they do get a 4th place schedule, so they get the Cardinals, the Raiders, and the Giants, because the Giants finished.
So you managed to avoid making that mistake of getting up into the second place schedule.
So based on the Bucks-Panthers result, had the Saints beaten the Falcons, they would have gotten a 3rd place schedule. They could not have gotten to 2nd place. They could have gotten 3rd place. If the Panthers had beaten the Bucks and the Saints won, then the Saints could have gotten to 2nd. But listen, I completely agree with you. The other thing too is like our lead back for this game was Audric Estime, who honestly I think he should get a shot next year at the roster. I mean, he's showed signs in his limited time. I hope they do give him a chance. That being said, if they have a chance to draft Jeremiah Love out of Notre Dame, I think they're going to consider it. I know running back in the top 10 pick is like taboo. See Ashton Jeanty this year. Yeah. Careful with that. The other thing is like the offensive line is still a problem. I mean, there were injuries.
See again, Ashton Jeanty.
See again, because like your guy Kelvin Banks had to leave this game. He had an ankle thing that's not going to be any problem long term, but they just wanted to be safe. So like they're starting like they're playing like Awesome Richards at right tackle. I don't even remember who they put in at left tackle after Banks got hurt. So the big thing with this team is get the offensive line better, and then try to get some juice, try to get some playmakers to help Olave and Kamara. I don't know what the Kamara thing's gonna. I mean, he didn't play basically the back half of the season.
Yeah, he seemed like he missed a lot of time this year, and I know because he was just sitting on my bench. What a wasted draft pick.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see what happens. Now the defense, that's another sign of optimism. Brandon Staley had this defense really playing, and Chase Young, I think I mentioned this last week, but Chase Young was a revelation this year. He missed the first 4 games, but then after that, like these last couple games, in this game, he basically took this game over at one point. The first touchdown of the game am I thinking of the game from last week? I might be thinking of the game from last week.
So he didn't rip the ball out of anybody's
hands. Yeah, no. But this game was, I mean, he was in Kirk Cousins' face a lot. And Cam Jordan kind of had like a fountain of youth. Cam Jordan always plays well against the Falcons for some reason. So kept with that trend. I just hope that they can just kind of take this and build. I don't think Staley's going to have any like opportunity to leave. So hopefully we at least get that consistency. That's the other thing too, is like we're going to have a full off season of a consistent coaching staff. Like you have to go through the cycle, at least not right now. We don't have to go through the hiring cycle. We don't have to do all that stuff. So interested to see for the Falcons. They were the first team to kind of, well, I guess not counting the Giants and the Titans, they were the first team to kind of fire a coach for Black Monday. Raheem Morris got the axe.
That reminds me, I saw that the Giants were the first team eliminated from the playoffs and ended up with pick number 5 or something like that. It's like that's good job, great,
Well,
good work.
This will lead me into something we'll talk about here later. But like the Falcons have been eliminated from the playoffs for like a month, and somehow still ended up tied for first place in the NFC South. Which is
good work from
ridiculous.
that division.
Yeah. So we'll talk more about that here in a little bit. But let's move on here. Let's talk about some things we found really, really great from this week 18.
Just great, really great, really, really great. Don't you think so, Elaine?
Yeah, really great.
Yeah, really great.
I always
Paul,
forget
what
about
did
the
you-
Elaine. I always forget about the Elaine part of that. So listen, you and I think, are going to live vicariously here for the next couple of weeks through our good friend Trang and her Seattle Seahawks, who defeated the 49ers, brought to you by Ricky Waters, 13-3. And they get the 1 seed. Sam Darnold, kind of a little redemption from last year. He had the same scenario as a Viking against the Lions, where they could win and you're the 1 seed, lose and you're the 5 seed. The 49ers actually fell to the 6 seed because of the Rams winning on Sunday. But yeah, shout out to Trang. Hope the Seahawks can put a little run together for her and get them.
I will go ahead and spoil my thoughts on this, but do you trust Sam Darnold? Because I still don't.
Yeah, that's but okay. Then counter. Who do you trust in the NFC? Quarterback.
Matt Stafford.
Do you? Right now?
More than anybody else in
He's been well, yeah, I guess. I was to say he's been his last couple of weeks, man. Well, I guess this week against
This week
Arizona,
he was
kind of figured it out.
Right. He was fine then, but
yeah. So I think there's a couple teams, Seattle is one of them, that can ride a good defense and a solid running game, I'd say. I don't think that. I mean, they obviously have the two-headed Kenneth Walker, Zach Charbonnet backfield, and JSN. I think can be an X factor for them.
The defense is the thing that I come back to, because they were able to just like suffocate the life out of Carolina last week, and they did the same thing to a San Francisco offense that's been one of the hottest in the league recently. I mean, I know they've been doing it against what was kind of a mediocre schedule, but the fact that they were able to just hold them to a field goal. I think the last time the 49ers didn't score a touchdown in the like Shanahan era was back when like Frank Gore was still the running back, or whoever was the running back. It was one of those like old like it was when Shanahan first got there. So like the
So looking at who Seattle might play, and we'll obviously run down the playoffs a little bit, but like obviously Green Bay, if Green Bay can beat Chicago, they'll take on the Packers. I don't trust Green Bay to go into Seattle and win. I don't trust them going to Chicago and win either, but we'll talk about that later.
Yeah.
But or it's either going to be Green Bay, or most likely it'll be a team they've already played, which is the 49ers or the Rams, potentially, depending on how their games shake out. Or it could be Carolina again, potentially, if that falls a certain way. So I think I don't want to jinx them. But I think hopefully Trang should be feeling pretty confident going into the playoffs. Brandon, what was your really, really great for the week?
I don't get too much right on this show, but I will go ahead and take the one victory lap. So the Jaguars 41, Titans 7, presented by Eddie Robinson. The Jaguars lock up the AFC South, a division that they could have wrapped up much earlier if they haven't had some boneheaded losses earlier in the season, but look like a pretty complete team. The offense is sort of hitting its stride since they added Jacoby Meyer from Vegas. Everything seems to be gelling right now. The defense is really good. It's not. I don't think it's as scary as Seattle or Houston, but it's a solid unit that I think can cause teams. Any weekend could help keep them in a game where it's a tough matchup. So, Jags win the AFC South. Called it before the season, and now maybe that'll be my maybe the Jags will be my Super Bowl pick. I'll ride with the Jags for the season, for the rest of the off season, or for the postseason.
I'm going to fire the question back to you. Do you trust Trevor Lawrence?
He's playing better. This is probably the best he's played in his career. I think he's finally I think Cohen's finally got him integrated into the system. They've got sort of the weapons because now they've got 3 wide receivers who, between Brian Thomas Jr., Parker Washington, and Jacoby Myers, you've got 3 wide receivers who are genuinely can operate in different parts of the field, so you can use those effectively. Travis Etienne's a good back. You've got their tight end. Oh, I played him in the.
Oh, Strange?
Brenton Strange has had a pretty solid back half of the season. So I think they've got a lot going for them.
Can I run down the AFC quarterbacks in the playoffs real quick?
Okay.
Bo Nix.
Yep. Ooh.
The Drake, who we love. Trevor Lawrence. Aaron Rodgers. CJ Stroud. Josh Allen. And Justin Herbert.
That's a lot. That's a much better list of quarterbacks in the AFC than we got going into the NFC. So
as I was listing them, I'm like, actually, this is better than I thought.
No, this is much better list. Yeah. And I guess Bo Nix is probably the one I trust least in that.
Well, yeah. Well, here's the thing. I'll save that for later. Well, we could talk about that a little bit later. But the one that's least proven is the Drake, obviously, because this is his first playoff appearance. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see how it pans out. I give you all the credit, man. I didn't see it with Jacksonville in the offseason. I was like, I don't know if this is going to work. I was like, Cohen kind of came off like a goof in the press conference.
Oh, he definitely came off like a goof. I'm not gonna backpedal and say he didn't.
But yeah, no, I agree with you. I do think Lawrence is playing. He's playing good at the right time. Obviously you want to be playing your best at this time of the season, and that's what he's doing. So kudos to him. Let's transition here to our next segment. Sweet Fancy Moses.
Sweet Fancy Moses.
All right, Brandon. Let's go from good to bad here. What do you got for your Sweet Fancy Moses?
CJ Spiller presents Bills 35, Jets 8. It's one thing that the Jets lost this game, which you fully expected them to do. It's not a surprise. But the Jets, who are coached by a former defensive back who came up as a defensive backs coach and then a defensive coordinator, now the head coach, this team had 0 interceptions for the season, which is
the same number of interceptions you and I had this season.
Yes. So I don't understand how you even go through a season without looking into a tip pass off of somebody's hands, pop it up into somebody, and that's not a good sign for a guy who's supposed to be a defensive head coach. Obviously they I will say they did trade away, I guess, their 2 best defensive players, one to Indianapolis and one to Dallas. So there is that, but still 0 interceptions for a season. Sweet Fancy Moses.
Sauce was there the first 6 games or whatever it was.
Yep. I guess if Sauce is on one side, you just throw the ball to the other side, and he doesn't have a chance to make an interception.
All right. So for mine, I'm going to I guess I'll present this as Josh McCown presents Bucks 16, Panthers 14. But mine is just the NFC South in general. So when the dust settled, the Panthers Bucks, and Falcons all finish 8-9. The Panthers, because of their so within the division, the Panthers swept the Falcons, the Falcons swept the Saints, and the Saints swept the Panthers, and then the Bucks split with everybody. So everyone in the division went 3-3 within the division.
This perfect mediocrity.
I mean, you can't get more mediocre than this division. So yeah, 3 teams at 8-9. The Saints finish at 6-11. Had the Falcons defeated the team you just talked about, the Jets, on November 30th, and everything else went the way that it went, the Atlanta Falcons would be hosting the Rams this weekend in a playoff game, and Raheem Morris would not have been fired. That's football. Like that's where we are. And for the Jets, had that happened, the Jets would be picking first overall had they lost that game to the Falcons.
You know, every few years we get one of these divisions where somebody gets in under 500, and then everybody seems to have this existential crisis about whether we should let division winners host a playoff game.
I asked you last week. I'm like, should they what your thoughts? And you're like, yeah.
You always winning your division should mean something. That's how I will always feel. It will never change. I don't care if your division winner was 8-9. But still, you're right. This is a pretty sweet fancy Moses division. This is the division of little kicks, full body dry heaves.
One thing I'll mention, and I guess I'll kind of double dip here a little bit, but if I can go to
another Seinfeld reference there,
another Seinfeld. If I can go to Steve Bono presents Vikings 16, Packers 3. So we had talked about at one point that we were pretty sure a 10-win team was not going to make the playoffs. So that did not happen. However, there was one team, as far as I know, one team that finished above 500 that did not make the playoffs, and that's the Minnesota Vikings. Finished 9-8, which if you had told me at one point in the season that the Vikings were going to finish 9-8, I'd have been like, you're crazy. Like, there's no way this team's finishing 9-8 with what
did they trade for a quarterback at some point?
Right, exactly. So Kevin O'Connell's not going to win Coach of the Year 2 years in a row, but he probably should get some votes, honestly. To take this team with
maybe Brian Flores should get some head coach of the year votes.
He's a favorite in a couple places now for a head coaching job. We'll talk about that a little bit here, but in a little bit here. But yeah, I just wanted to point that out. So, so the Vikings, who finished one game better than the entire NFC South, will be watching it at home, watching the playoffs at home. But the division, and that's the other thing. Going back to the Saints, from my perspective, about hope for next season is like 8-9 won this division, and there were points down the stretch where a lot of people thought the Saints were playing the best, and the Falcons too. They were the two best teams in the division, and they were already eliminated from the playoffs. So,
don't have to go far to get there.
Do not have to go far. All right, let's finish up with our last segment here. You got it.
It's 4th and inches, and the Giants are going for it. You gotta love sports.
All right, I'll kick this one off. I'll make it quick. Cade York presents Browns 20, Bengals 18. Myles Garrett gets the sack record. So I don't know if you watched this. I don't know if you saw this. What were your thoughts on Burrow? Do you think Burrow took a dive?
I didn't think so when I saw it.
I didn't think so either.
No, I didn't. I think he was just trying not to get murdered. I got to protect myself from getting killed because he blew past the on that play. Garrett was basically on his neck instantly.
Yeah, I didn't think it was as bad as the Strahan Favre from years ago.
No.
So, but yeah, congratulations to Myles Garrett. The Browns have moved on from Kevin Stefanski. I have no idea what the hell they're going to do. I think they have the fourth pick of the draft. I've got the draft. Well, actually, I've got it here in the document. Let me pull it up. The sixth pick. So that win cost them some stock here. No, actually, it didn't. If they had won, they would still be, because they would have finished the same record as the Giants. They have a better strength of schedule, so they would have finished in the same. Anyway, but yeah, listen, obviously, don't know what the hell is going to happen with the quarterback situation. Obviously, they got to find a coach. Brian Flores' name was thrown about for this job, I saw. We'll see. We'll see what happens.
Given how well Brian Flores did with young quarterbacks, and last time, I don't know if I'd be throwing him into this situation where we got Deshaun Watson coming back and two second-year guys who apparently were fighting over playing time toward the end of it. So. Oh, I did see also, I this could probably go in the Sweet Fancy Moses, but apparently Shedeur Sanders had the lowest QBR of any Browns quarterback ever, which is saying something because you don't want to be last on that list.
Let me throw some names out here. So Tim Couch, Deshaun Kaiser.
That's I think that's probably the most egregious one because Deshaun Kaiser was
post Carolina Panthers Jake Delhomme, Brandon Whedon was he a Brown at one point?
Yeah, he was. He was drafted by the Browns.
I'm just thinking of that. I'm thinking of that jersey.
Yeah, with the giant one
with all the
Baker Mayfield,
DTR,
Dorian Thompson Robinson.
Man, that's
you don't want to. Yeah, it's not the list you want to be ranked number one on. So
well, speaking of the so ironically, you picked the other AFC North game for your Gotta Love Sports.
Yeah, so I took Steelers 26, Ravens 24, presented by Rod Woodson. Just a good. I didn't get to watch the end of this because I ended up Newmaning on the couch, but what I did watch, I thought I watched through the first half, and I thought Pittsburgh actually like consistently outplayed the Baltimore in this game, and I think Baltimore had those like long touchdown passes. The first one they caught Pittsburgh in a cover zero, and the wide receiver who I had never heard of until that moment basically was able to kind of bend his sort of crossing route a little deeper as Jalen Ramsey tries to cut underneath it. Lamar hits him for a touchdown. And then basically Pittsburgh had multiple chances inside the 5-yard line and couldn't come through on fourth down. They didn't take the points. And then they had another couple of opportunities at midfield where they tried to pick up short yardage situations on fourth down and couldn't get it. But I thought Pittsburgh, honestly, like on the defensive side of the ball, pretty much outplayed the Ravens for what I saw of this game. And then it just feels like karmic justice for the Ravens, who held on to Justin Tucker despite all of the.
I didn't think about that. Yeah.
Yeah. So they held on to him for that long, and then their new kicker that they tapped to replace him missed the kick. I don't know if you saw that the Steelers apparently had this end zone blessed with holy water too before the game.
So, I did see this. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think there are a lot of things at work, but I think justice was served in the fact that the Ravens kicker is the one who ended up costing them the chance to win this game. But I will say I also did have my Steelers to win the division wager cashed on this. So
I had one myself.
Oh, you did?
Rebet, yeah. So, you talked about them having the end zone blessed. We shouldn't discount that the new Pope, is a native Chicagoan. So maybe that's what the Bears have got a little got a little magic going for him.
The
Yeah,
Panthers also have a little a different kind of history going for them. So
they got something going. Yeah, listen, I was higher on the Steelers than most in the offseason because a lot of people were like, this is not going to work. This is not, I'm not naming names. I'm not calling anybody out. But like, I just like, man, Tomlin's a good coach. Like what, this is, and like all these Steelers fans who were like, yeah, they got to fire him. They go, oh, okay. Well, what are you saying now? Like you won the division. Now listen, they could get boat raced by the Texans this weekend or on Monday, and we're right back to Tomlin needs to get fired and all that stuff.
I will say the way they won some of their games that they won were like some of the ugliest, most disgusting, luckiest bouts. It was a 5 fumble game against who was it that they had? They won a game where the other
Patriots?
team fumbled. The Patriots fumbled 5 times and basically just like marched the ball up and down the field against them. They had that Jets game that they should have won the first week of the season, but the Jets kickoff returner fumbled the ball like immediately and handed them the game too. So
there's the Lions game where Goff scores the winning touchdown, but there was an OPI.
They got hosed on that too. Like that was disgusting officiating.
Yeah. So we'll see. I mean, I don't expect much from the Steelers come playoff time, but we'll see. I mean, you never know. Like, you just got to win. I mean, if you think about it, you just got to win, 4 games in a row?
That's it. Yeah.
That's it.
That's nothing.
90 pages.
Yeah.
Okay, let me get to Donnie's dispatch here. So before I do that, I'll cue that up by saying Jacob Hester presented Broncos 19, Chargers 3. I think Donnie's going to speak a little bit to this game here. So
can before you do this, can I read a tweet that I just saw? Jason Garrett interview is obviously just for the Rooney Rule. Ginger.
That is in reference to Jason Garrett getting a interview with the Tennessee Titans.
Yes,
for their head coach.
Why?
Yeah, that one seems odd. that one seems like, wait, you're interviewing who? Like why? What's going on here? Well, I guess if they're going to interview McCarthy, they've got to interview Garrett as well. I don't know if that's part of the deal.
That's the rule.
That's the rule. All right, here's Donnie's Week 18 dispatch. I guess I can't complain too much after getting the 1 seed in the AFC. No, Donnie, you can't. But my gosh, the last 2 weeks of offensive football have been offensive. Facing backups in Kansas City and the Chargers, the Broncos came up with the most vanilla, nothing happening game plans on offense. Just nothing creative. I think in the 2 games we attempted just 1 pass over 20 yards. Sean Payton pretty much admitted this yesterday in the post-game presser. He said essentially he didn't want to put too much out there because they may have to play the Chargers in the divisional round. I think I speak for all football fans when I say the wide receiver quick screen play needs to die. It seems that every team is running this play and it succeeds like 1 out of 30 times. Most of the time the receiver is losing yards on the play. The Broncos had probably 9 plays inside the 10-yard line yesterday, and they ran at least 5 screens. That is insane. Bo is pretty good on the run, just run bootlegs. You have Cortland Sutton, throw a back shoulder fade to him. You have Evan Ingram, run a stick route. In any case, the Broncos had a great year, franchise record for wins despite paying Russell Wilson $50 million to not play for them. Looking at the playoff field, I think the most likely scenario is Broncos host either Houston or Buffalo. I could see a scenario where Buffalo loses and Houston can't score and loses on a fluke to Pittsburgh, though, too. And he also says, congrats to Andy on the tie in the pigskin pick'em that we talked about earlier. So there's our Denver dispatch from Donnie. I think the Broncos. I mean, obviously they've got the 1 seed, so they can rest. I know Vance Joseph, I think, got a couple of job interviews that they've been asked for.
Let me be the first to caution you against letting your defensive coordinator have job interviews during the playoffs.
There you go. Let me see. Let me wrap up the rest of these games that we maybe didn't talk about. We got that one. I mentioned Vikings. Brian Hoyer presents Texans 38, Colts 30. I didn't watch a lot of this game, but apparently Riley Leonard had a couple of big plays in this game. Now, obviously, the Texans were kind of playing to win.
You could see they were scoreboard watching because they took CJ
Yeah.
Stroud once the Jags were up like 24-7 or something like that.
Yeah, but I mentioned this to you. So obviously, once that hay was in the barn, then yeah, you're not playing for the AFC South anymore. But had they lost, and the Bills beating the Jets in the late afternoon window, that would have dropped the Texans to 6. So the Texans could have ended up playing Jacksonville this week had they ended up losing this game and Buffalo. And they get the late touchdown there at the end, the defensive touchdown there at the end. Going to be interested to see what the Colts do this offseason. Obviously, I think Daniel Jones will be back. I would imagine he's going to be back. Shane Steichen looks like.
I guess the question will be how long does it take him to get back, and what do they do in the
Yeah.
meantime? Because
that
Achilles injuries. I mean, we saw what happened to Kirk Cousins, and obviously, like Daniel Jones is still much younger than Kirk Cousins, but still, like how much he still needed. A lot of his game is still like built on athleticism. So
who had an Achilles injury in his back playing is Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, he looks great.
Well, I mean, he's in the playoffs. We talked about the Bills Jets. Dick Evie presents Lions 19, Bears 16. I was surprised by this. Nobody in the NFC apparently wanted the 2 seed because the Bears didn't put their best foot forward. The Eagles, I guess I can go to that game. Who was that? That was David Akers presents Commanders 24, Eagles 17. Nobody wanted that 2 seed, I guess. They just kind of whatever. Obviously, the Commanders parted ways with both of their coordinators, Cliff Kingsbury and their defensive coordinator, whose name I cannot remember at the moment. But
this is incredibly funny in the way that the two Washington the most recent their most recent 2 bright patches between RG3's rookie year and
now
Jane Daniels incredible rookie year, amazing. Everyone thinks that they are set up for the future. Year 2, quarterback gets injured. I mean, obviously RG3's big injury was in the playoff game, but quarterback is injured. Things don't look as good. Everything falls apart. And we have officially hit the rock bottom for this team immediately.
I was going to bring this up later, but I guess now is as good a time as any. So obviously the news came down today, a few hours ago, as we're recording this. John Harbaugh and the Ravens have parted ways. And it was reported by Adam Schefter that within 45 minutes of that news, Harbaugh's agent had been contacted by at least 7 teams about Harbaugh's interests. Here's the fun part of this. There's 7 openings. One of them is the Ravens. So that means there's 6 openings and 7 teams contacted him. So that means at least one team contacted Harbaugh's agent that currently has a head coach.
You think that's the Jets? Is that what you're – is this what you –
Well, here's that could be the Jets because – we talked about this, I think, a couple weeks ago when we were kind of looking at who might get fired. I thought that there could be a team that if a coach came available, which I think John Harbaugh falls in this category, that you maybe say, let's make the call. Let's So I put the Jets in that category. Could the Commanders be in that category? Because you've already let Kingsbury and the DC go.
If you were going to do that, wouldn't you just have immediately let everybody go, though? Or I guess.
But Harbaugh wasn't fired yet.
That's true.
That's my point. That's my point. I don't think people thought Harbaugh was getting fired.
What about the Dolphins as a potential for that?
That's another one. The other one that Donnie and I were messaging back and forth. Another one that came to mind. What if Andy Reid's not coming back to Kansas City? And John Harbaugh can you imagine going from Andy Reid to John Harbaugh if you're the Chiefs? Like, that's a pretty slick transition there, I would say. But
the only thing is you'd have to figure out what you're doing with your OC, which I guess Harbaugh's
probably. But Nagy might be getting a head coaching job anyway. Right?
Yeah, but how much of the architect behind that offense is Matt Nagy even responsible for? That's fair. Like that, I think that's my and that is like behind my skepticism of Matt Nagy as a head coach anyway, is like like,
how about this? I got something for you. What about Cliff Kingsbury as Kansas City's OC?
Oh, I hate that. Wait. Well, was he the coach? Was he the coach at Texas Tech when Patrick Mahomes was in?
Nah, you're picking up what I'm putting down here. No. Even if Andy Reid stays, how about this? Andy Reid stays, Kingsbury is your OC, and now you've got a potential head coach
successor. Can I float something by you for the Ravens job?
Float? Go ahead. Eberflus?
If I'm going to sabotage anybody, I'm sending him to the Giants. Okay.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah. Or the Commanders. You can send him to the Commanders.
Anthony Weaver.
See, that's the name.
It makes too much sense because he's gotten talk for head coaching openings.
Yeah.
Everybody loves what he's done in Miami, and he comes from the Ravens tree.
From
like
the Ravens,
that's the most logical thing in the world is like, if I had to put money on who's going to be the Ravens coach.
He was the first name I thought of. I'm being honest here. You and I have not talked about this, but he was one of the first people I thought. Flores' name came up, obviously. I don't know. I mean, when you've had a coach in-house for 18 years, apparently one of the sticking points between Harbaugh and the Ravens was the leadership wanted Harbaugh to replace Todd Monken as OC, and Harbaugh was against that. So obviously Todd Monken now is probably going to be out there available for jobs. I'm very fascinated to see what the Ravens do. I mean, obviously Lamar is going to have a little bit of influence, I would say, in this decision. Unless they just decide, you know what, screw it, we're just going to break it down to studs and trade Lamar too, which I don't think they would go that far. But
I will say I'm looking at the Ravens head coaching odds on Action Network, but via Kalshi, and right now the favorite is Jesse Minter, and our Anthony Weaver currently not even listed here. So
okay,
I think if we could find somewhere to make that bet, like it may be, I would put a couple of bucks on it, to be honest.
We'll see. I mean, it makes a ton of sense. Yeah, Minter. I mean, Minter's going to get that. Somebody, it was Ryan from Saints Block Party podcast, was like, "Thank God the Saints are not in this cycle because there's really not a lot." Now, I mean, the Harbaugh changes that, but
this is the I think the point I've heard it made, and I sort of thought this too, is last year there were a lot of like good offensive coordinators who are looking to make the move to head coach. This year, if you're looking for someone, you're probably going to be better off picking from the defensive side of the ball. And I think there's a lot of good defensive head coaching candidates, but there's also a lot of available defensive coordinators in this market, guys who are defensive head coaches that have kind of moved on. So you're right. There's not, from an offensive standpoint, at least, there's not a lot of good head coaching candidates that are guys who are offensive minds that you want to sort of be able to bring in.
Yeah, the hot name I kind of heard from an offensive side is Davis Webb, who's I think he's a quarterback coach with the Broncos. I think he's kind of in that. He may not get a job this cycle, but he's definitely going to start getting interviews and like kind of people see him as a potential coaching candidate down the road. I heard Rich Eisen make a plea for the Raiders to just call Kirk Cignetti and have him say no. Like basically like, look, we're going to draft Mendoza number 1 overall. You know, here's the bag. You know, here's what do you need? Yeah, and I don't think it'll happen, but what about John Harbaugh at the Raiders?
Does John Harbaugh really want that? Couldn't he do better?
I mean, that's a good point. Well, okay, so if you're John Harbaugh, like what's the best job? Now, I would say Atlanta, which scares me to death.
I heard talk about Clint Kubiak possibly being interviewed by the Falcons. How does that? Yeah, how does that
scares
make
me
you feel?
too. That scares me too, honestly. Because I mean, you know, say what you want about Kubiak's time in New Orleans. Obviously, he was marred by injuries, but we've seen what he's done this year with Darnold in Seattle and with that offense. So, I think Atlanta's big thing is going to be what do you do with Penix and well. I mean, they obviously have the advantage of having Cousins, assuming he's back next year. I'm guessing he will be. But yeah, the Kubiak thing that scares me if he goes to Atlanta. I'm gonna be honest because I think he's a good. I mean, Harbaugh. The other team we're talking about teams that might fire their coach for Harbaugh. How about Tampa Bay?
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know, if you're Tampa Bay, you finish the season, you're like, yeah, Bowles is, you know, he's won the division the last 3 years or whatever it is.
The defense wasn't even really good this year, was it? Like,
well, that's what I'm saying. Like
that's what
if you're a defensive head coach and your defense stinks, like that's not good. And but again, if you're Tampa, if you're management and a Super Bowl winning coach is now available on the market, and he. You know, I mean, I don't see why Harbaugh wouldn't want to go to Tampa. I mean, I don't, you know, like, I think that makes sense. I personally would like to see John Harbaugh with the Raiders only because you'd get to see Jim versus John Harbaugh twice a year, if that happens. For what that's worth. I don't see John Harbaugh going to Tennessee. I think John Harbaugh is going to want to go to a situation where there's an established quarterback or one can be gotten relatively quickly, I would say, if that makes sense. So like Tampa makes sense because of Baker. The Falcons kind of make sense. I mean, again, they have Cousins, the Penix thing, but I
don't feel like I love that pairing of Harbaugh. Atlanta.
I don't see Harbaugh in New York. I don't see him
I don't
as
think so.
I don't think so
either.
A Giants guy.
Or
him going to Cleveland would be hilarious, but that would never. I don't think that's going to happen.
No, I don't see that either. I mean, I think Cleveland should make the call. I think that's a good. I think they should kick the tires on it.
No. I think every team with an opening should make the call. And then again, some of these teams that are kind of on the fence about their coach should think about it too, obviously, as seems like some of them have. Let's wrap up the rest of these Week 18 games real quick. So we talked about the Raiders. Napoleon Harris presents Raiders 14, Chiefs 12. I watched very little of this game too. It was, you know, just
this was not hitting the radar, buddy.
Well, the Giants had already won by this point, so the Raiders already knew they had the first pick. So I guess why not play for a win? Night Train Lane presents Rams 37, Cardinals 20. We talked about this a little bit. Stafford kind of getting back on the right track here. The Cardinals, they departed ways with Jonathan Gannon. I don't think Harbaugh wants to go to Arizona.
No.
Here's your problem with the Cardinals. You won your first two games.
Besides Kyler Miller.
Besides Kyler Murray. You won your first two games. You won your first 2 games, and then you went 1-14 in your last 15 games. Not great. The other thing is the other 3 teams in your division just won 12 games, at least, all 3 of them, and they're all in the playoffs. So yeah, it's like who's going to want to take on that challenge? To kind of get that turned around. They do have some cap space, I believe, but yeah, the Kyler Murray thing feels like they're going to move on from him. I think they do end up. They
I
had
would
the
I would be shocked. I think Kyler Murray wants out of there too. Like I don't think
yeah.
I have
They
a hard
have
time thinking that
they have the 3rd overall pick. They might end up just doing like a bridge quarterback to kind of get them to 2027. Unless because the Raiders pick first, they're going to most likely pick Mendoza. The Jets are second, and apparently, I don't know if you heard Todd McShay basically tell Dante Moore, like, unless you know you're going to go first to the Raiders, don't come out in the draft because you don't want to go to the Jets. Like, that's
someone said that those Mendoza Raiders jerseys are going to sell like hotcakes based on the Raiders fan base.
Yeah.
Mendoza for a Raiders fan base out in California.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's think of the last game here. Keith Byers presents Patriots 38, Dolphins 10. The Drake obviously did what he needed to do, and then I think they took him out of the game. They're late. Well, they were kind of scoreboard watching because if the Broncos had lost, they could have gotten the 1 seed. But
right, not that the Dolphins put up much resistance anyway.
All right, Brandon, I'm going to give you congratulations. You have an MVP vote. Who's the MVP of the league?
I just can't give Drake May the MVP based on the schedule that he played. So I'm going to give it to Stafford based on the fact that I think the Rams.
Glad you brought this up.
Better.
I had a tweet for this. I had a tweet from. Well, I'll tell you in a second. It's from NFL Researcher on X.
Okay.
There were 4 teams who had 0 wins against teams with winning records. Would you like to guess the 4 teams that had 0 wins?
I'm going to say what did Kansas City's record end up being? They were 6-11. Las Vegas. No, because they beat
Raiders.
The Patriots. They beat the Patriots. That's right.
Yep.
So they beat them week 1. I'm going to guess the Jets.
Yes, the Jets are 1.
I will guess. I know the Cowboys beat somebody with a winning record.
Cowboys had 1. Cowboys had 1 win against the team with a winning
Eagles.
record. The Eagles, yeah.
And 1 tie. Thank you.
And 1 tie.
Yes. I feel like Arizona beat somebody on a fluke. No. Okay.
Arizona had 0 wins.
I'm going to guess the Patriots are one of these teams because that's a reason for this.
So the 4 teams that had 0 wins against teams with winning records were the Jets, the Titans, the Cardinals, and my Saints.
Oh.
There were 5 teams that had 1 win against teams with a winning record. 4 of those teams did not make the playoffs. The other one is the Patriots. The Raiders, the Cowboys, the Chiefs, the Dolphins, and the Patriots.
The team they beat was the Bills because they beat them
early
in the
year.
first game.
The first time. So, yeah, I agree with you. I mean, if they gave it to Drake, I'm not going to throw a fit about it, but
I will roll my eyes though.
Yeah. I think Stafford, even though he did have some bumps in the road there down the stretch, particularly against Carolina, I think he's good there. Okay, so before we get into the wild card round here, let me just quickly go through the draft order. I think I did this last year once we got outside of the regular season. So there's 18 teams that did not make the playoffs. So here's your 1 to 18 draft order. So you got the Raiders at 1, Jets at 2, Cardinals at 3, Titans 4, Giants 5. 6 through 10 are the Browns, the Commanders, the Saints, the Chiefs, and the Bengals. 11 through 15, you got the Dolphins, the Cowboys, the Rams via the Falcons, the Ravens, and the Buccaneers. 16 through, and then the last 3 picks, 16, 17, and 18, are the Jets via the Colts because of the Sauce Gardner trade, the Lions, and the Vikings. So I lied. There were 2 teams with records above 500 that didn't make the playoffs. The Lions are also 9-8. Vikings. So every team in the NFC North finished above 500. Every team in the NFC South finished below 500. So there you go. There's your fun fact for the day. Although I do believe the NFC South as a division had more wins than the NFC East. Because the NFC South had 30. The NFC East had how many games the Cowboys won?
7.
7. Eagles won 11.
Yeah, because they finished under 11.5, right?
Right. So NFC East, 11, 7 is 18, 5 is 20. Yeah. The NFC East had 27 wins total.
That's the Giants and the
Commanders
bringing us down.
Yeah, so the NFC North, everybody had at least 9 wins. Bears had 11. Well, everybody except the Bears had 9 wins, I should say, because the Packers had the 1 tie. So, and then yes, we're kind of a weird season from that perspective, I would say.
Hey, the Grizzlies beat the Spurs tonight.
Hey, how about that?
Look at that.
Wemby play?
Wemby played. He came off the bench. He played 21 minutes. So
okay. All right, buddy. So, are you ready to talk about some wild card?
Let's get wild.
Let's get wild. So,
you want to get wild?
Want to get nuts? So ESPN does not do the pick'em and the confidence for the playoffs, but Brandon and I are going to do pick'em and confidence for the playoffs. So for the spread and confidence for the playoffs. Now, for the spreads, what I've done is I've pulled the spread number from DraftKings via the ESPN app. So if you go and look at the ESPN app and you look at the schedule and they say, here's the spread, that's what we're using. So obviously these numbers can change. We're recording on Tuesday. First games start on Saturday. So, and then we'll just keep track of it ourselves. And then when we get to the Super Bowl, Brandon and I were talking before we turn the mics on. We might have some fun with the Super Bowl when we get there. But for now, we will start Saturday. First game up, Ashawn Robinson presents Rams at Panthers. Panthers, the home underdog here, as they should be, the 8-9 Carolina Panthers. They are getting 10.5 points. So I am going to take Panthers plus 10.5, but I'm taking the Rams at a confidence of 4.
Okay. I will also take the Panthers plus the 10.5, and I have Rams 6.
We should point out 6 is the highest because there's only
Correct.
6 games here. So just keep that in mind. All right, Saturday night. I believe this game is on Prime. I think that's how this is working out. I think ESPN gets the first game and then Prime gets the second one. Packers at Bears. So the third Packers-Bears 3, as it were, this season. Bears are actually the underdog here. They're getting 1.5 points. So I'll double check. Let me double check ESPN. Make sure I got this right. NFL scores wild card. Yeah, I'm showing Packers minus 1.5.
Yeah, it's Packers 1. I see a pick at Bet Rivers, but it's Packers -1, Packers -1.5, basically. So we'll do the 1.5 because to make it up, so we don't end up with a push.
Okay, so I'll do. I'm gonna lay the 1.5 with the Packers, and I'm gonna take the Packers out of 1.
Okay, I will take the Bears plus 1.5. I don't feel confident in this, so I will go Bears 2.
Bears 2.
You said Packers. You said Packers 1, right?
Packers 1. Yeah, that's what I've got. All right, now we have a triple header on Sunday. Oh, by the way, Packers Bears. That one brought to you by Beady Feathers. Because why
That's
not?
what you wear. That's what you wear at Mardi Gras. Some BD.
That is what you wear in Mardi Gras. Beady Feathers. Yeah. All right. Up next, first game on Sunday, brought to you by Nick O'Leary, who was a tight end from Florida State, and I believe was the grandson of Jack Nicklaus, if I remember correctly, the golfer. He was related to Jack Nicklaus somehow. I remember that was kind of his claim to fame. But he's presenting Bills at Jaguars. Another kind of a surprise here. The Jaguars are getting 1.5 at home against the Bills. I guess this one makes a little more sense, maybe, than the Packers one. But so Bills minus 1.5. I'm going to go Jags plus the 1.5, and I'm going Jags at a 3.
I'm going Jags plus 1.5. Jags 1. Fun fact: the Bills have lost. I believe this is 8 straight road playoff games. The last road playoff game they won was in 1993.
Okay.
Which I believe that was against the Dolphins.
Was that the same? Was that the same playoffs that they had the Oiler come back? 93? Or was that 92?
No. I want to say I can't remember. I can't remember at this point.
Yeah, no worries.
I think that was 92 because I think Frank Wright also got into the Super Bowl 27. But I will look that up.
Okay.
But we can keep
Up
going.
next, second game on Sunday. This one brought to you by Greg Leiter, maybe. Fun fact about this gentleman, Mr. Leiter. He played one season in the NFL, 1987. In that one season, he played 2 games. One of those games was with the 49ers, the other with the Philadelphia Eagles. So he's going to present 49ers Eagles. Eagles are laying 4.5. This opened at 3.5, and it's now moved to 4.5. I'm going Eagles minus 4.5, Eagles out of 5.
Yeah, I'll take the 49ers plus the points. And what number? You said Eagles at a 5 for you.
I said Eagles 5. Yeah.
So I've used my 6.
You can do 3, 4, or 5 for this one.
I want to go. I'll go Eagles 3.
All righty. The nightcap Sunday night, brought to you by not that Reggie White. Chargers at Patriots. Patriots are laying 3.5 at home here against the Chargers. I'm going to go Patriots minus 3.5. I'm going Patriots at a 6.
I have Patriots minus 3.5. Patriots 4.
Okay.
You said Patriots 6 for you?
I said 6 for me, yeah. All right, last but certainly not least, Monday Night Football. The final Monday Night Football of the season here. Sammy Coates presents Texans at Steelers. So the number I have here is Steelers plus 3. I don't know if you have a different. Let me double check.
I am showing. Yeah, Texans minus 3.
Okay, it opened at 2.5, so it got bumped to 3. We can play the 2.5 if you want, just so that we don't have a push. But that's
we can.
your
Let's
call.
just leave it as the 3. That's fine.
Okay. So Steelers +3. So I'm going to go Steelers plus the 3 points. Steelers at a 2.
Ooh, spicy. I'm going Texans -3, Texans 5.
All right.
You know, the Texans finally got off their streak of being the Saturday afternoon game that nobody wants to watch.
Did you see the tweet? Did you see the Texans media team, the social media
No,
team?
I did not. I
tweet?
did not see.
It was like one of those stick figure drawings where like you could tell they've taken a sip of something and they're spitting it out.
And
the caption was like our reaction when we found out we're not playing on Saturday of the wild card weekend or whatever.
I will say I think the Steelers are probably doing a lot of legwork and not being big because the Steelers are actually a brand that people will watch.
Well, you mentioned the Bills not winning on the road in the playoffs in 30 years or whatever. The Steelers have not lost a home Monday night game since 1993.
Ooh, so 93. That's the other.
I think it was 93. It was a year in the 90s. I can't remember the.
So that Bills playoff win was part of the 92 season playoffs. So it was the same playoffs as the Oilers comeback.
The Oilers, okay.
Yeah, so the Oilers comeback was in the first round. The Buffalo at Miami upset. Buffalo won 29-10 in Miami in the AFC Championship game to reach the Super Bowl.
That was the Marino glory years. There was I guess that was kind of Marino's last stand, really, one of his last years. Yeah. So we'll keep track of this as we go. So we're going to do this for what we say 12 of the 13 playoff. So the Super Bowl we'll do something different, but for
right. We'll still pick the game, but we'll also
we're going to do some other stuff.
Some fun stuff.
Some other fun stuff. All right. So got our picks there. So so just for folks that maybe don't realize, so obviously the 1 seeds get a bye. The winning team with the lowest seeded team remaining will play the 1 seed, and then the other 2 winning teams will play each other. And then from there, we'll get to the championship team. So if the 7 seed wins, so like if the Packers beat the Bears or if the Chargers beat the Patriots, they will automatically play the 1 seed, and then the other 2 will play. If not, if the Patriots and Bears take care of business, then the next lowest seeded team plays the 1 seed. And then the Patriots or Bears will host the other team. So, but we'll be back next week to recap all that, get you ready for the divisional round of the playoffs. Anything else before we sign off here, Brandon?
I think that's it.
We
covered a lot this week.
We did. So just to recap, so Thursday night, college football playoff semifinal. Friday night, college football playoff semifinal. 2 NFL playoff games on Saturday, 3 on Sunday, 1 on Monday. Not to mention, you got your college basketballs in full swing. Do you want to give a quick update on your?
So, bad day today because I started 0-5, but that is probably offsetting what I did yesterday, where I went 6-1.
Hey, there you go.
Yeah, so so since the start of the new year, I went 8-8, 5-4, 14-15. So just straight up 500, and then the last 2 days I was 4-2 and 6-1, and so today I'm probably going to finish in the dump. So I think I'm 2-6 right now. So I'm going to need Boston College to pull it together for the last 30 seconds of this game.
The alma mater of Matt Ryan. Boston College. Yeah.
And also Donovan Ezraku.
And also, your guy, Donovan Ezraku. All right. Well, we'll be back next week. We'll be picking the college football final. Well, yeah, because I think because that game will be the following Monday,
Right.
after we record. Is it on Martin Luther King Day? Is that?
Let me
That
see.
doesn't seem right. But maybe it is. Because Martin Luther King Day is the following week or the following Monday.
It is January 20th.
Okay, so it's the
No, wait, that's last year's. Sorry.
no, it's on the night. It's on Martin Luther King Day. It's on the 19th. Yeah.
Oh, I will be indisposed at that. We will be in California for celebrating my wife's birthday. So
happy birthday to her. Yeah, so we'll be picking the college football playoff final. We'll see how we did on our wild card week, and then we'll pick some divisional games. Maybe there'll be some coaching updates. The weird thing about this coaching cycle is because the Chiefs are not in the playoffs, like Matt Nagy and Steve Spagnuolo can actually interview for these jobs now. Like they don't have to wait. That's the other thing. Like I don't feel like the teams that are the 1 seeds, so the Broncos and the Seahawks. I mean, Vance Joseph's getting a little bit of in interest, and then Clint Kubiak for Seattle.
Vance Joseph seems like he's done his time to he's kind of earned another shot to
he had
coach
that
a team.
What was he? Arizona was his one.
Yeah.
Didn't turn out too well, but well, we'll see. Maybe I don't think we'll have a coaching hire by the time we reconvene next week. Maybe we'll have another coaching fire. Who knows?
You never know.
Looking at the teams in the playoffs, I don't see any of these teams losing. The one team I thought about for the Harbaugh thing, where John Harbaugh came from? Where he was the special teams coach prior to going to Baltimore?
Where is that?
Was it not Philadelphia?
Maybe.
I mean,
you're asking the wrong.
How mad would you be if the Eagles fired Sirianni and hired John Harbaugh?
But they won't do that because they're stupid.
I'm putting it out there. And you're going to be mad at me if it happens now because I
will also say that it took he hasn't won a Super Bowl since 2012, so it's been a while. Been a dry spell.
It has been a dry spell. It has been. All right. Well, more of that.
You also said that he would probably want to go somewhere with an established good quarterback.
That's touche, sir. Touche. I actually did hear a podcast today. It was an Eagles fan who kind of hinted at Hurts ain't it. Like I don't know if Hurts is it. So
I think that you've had to win multiple games without completing a pass in the second half is probably not a good sign for how good your offense is.
But he also quickly this Eagles fan also quickly came back to Tanner McKee probably ain't it either. So that's neither here nor there. But all right, we'll see everybody next week. Hope everybody has a good week. Happy football, everybody.
Happy football.